everybody, welcome to Show Technology Channel. My name is Chris and I'm your host, and as you can see, we are in my house doing a little bit of a unique video in networking, specifically about your local area network. Now, I really wanted to make this video because I wanted to see, I saw 1,000 videos on networks, but nobody explained it in a way. I tried to put myself in the place of a person who knows nothing about networking, nothing about technology, none of that. How could I explain a network in such a way that it's easy for you to understand? Well, that's what we're here. We're here today to do just that. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining me. Let's just get right into this video. And in the first part, what we're going to do, as you can see, you are in my living room. This is the first point I want to make. In a network, you have a space, a domain, so you could say. A space. I'm going to call it a space because we are in a space. It's easier to understand this if you're looking at it in terms of space, right? Because if I say broadcast domain, you're not going to have a clue what I'm even talking about. But if I say, hey, we're in a space and each one of these devices are talking to each other because they are in the same space. So think about this. If you have this TV, right, and you have, let's say my backpack for work right there. Let's say that that backpack is another device. Let's say that's your Xbox. Let's say you have an Apple TV. The Xbox is my Apple TV. And my little Bose box over here, that could be another device. It doesn't matter. Every one of these are in the same broadcast domain or space. And because they're in the same space, they can talk to each other and they can listen and hear each other. Now, this is where it's going to get a little interesting. Is because networks are so simplistic in their nature, right? This is not hard, y'all. Please follow me, please. It's very simple. A network, all it does is it allows communication between one or more devices. This one device either is communicating out or communicating to another device, right? That's all it is. That's literally all that's happening. So let's take a look at, let's think about this in terms of, say, an Xbox. Let's say that, or a computer. I prefer a computer myself. I'm a computer dude. So let's say that you're playing Warzone with your brother-in-law, which I do every weekend. We play Warzone every weekend. And so my cuñado, who's in Georgia, I play here in Colorado. Now we're connecting simultaneously to the same server. How do we do that? Well, the local area network has to know my device first, and then it has to know where the traffic needs to go. So you have a client of, mine's battle.net. That's what I use. My brother-in-law, he uses the Xbox, the Game Pass. So he's using different things than I am, different client. But the client sets up the connection. It has all the information it needs to connect to the servers and all of that business and set the session up. The server connects and then continues and keeps and maintains the connection. So it's very simple. So let's consider this space a closed space, right? There's a door over there. And there's a door. I hope y'all are not getting sick by that. That about made me sick. And so that door over there. This is my front door. So think of your front door. Okay, you know the little box you have, the little wireless router? That's the door. This is a local network enclosed in your house space. This space is local to where you are. Once you go outside this door, you're coming with me. Once we go outside this door, whoo, it's bright out there. We see our dog Chewy. There he is. But once you open this door, you're letting traffic in and out. So you have traffic that comes in and out of your gateway. The door is a gateway. And you could think of it like this. A gateway could be anything. A gateway could be the door to the internet, the outside, the public. And so think of a network. Now, once it leaves your home or this space and goes through that door, then you're like, okay, well, how does it get somewhere? Think about this. Let's say that we walk outside. I'm not going to actually walk out there. Okay, let's say I walk out the door and take a right. I go down to the end of the road, take a left. Once I take a left, there has to be something that knows the route from the end of from my driveway down to the end of the road and then knows to go left. That's called routing. Routing is based on distance. It can be a lot of things, but I'm not going to really get into that right now. I'm just telling you what happens. So you have two types, a WAN, a LAN, public, private. Those are the two you have. It's very simple. The outside of this room is public. Inside of this room is private. So why do you think they do that? Well, okay, so you don't want, the internet ran out of IP addresses because of IPv4, which is a standard. It's a type of IP address. 32-bit, 4 octets. Octets are 8. So it's 8 individual bits times 4, which is 32. So each one of those, they ran out of IP addresses. So then I'm going to introduce a new concept to you. And this one is really important for a LAN. It's called NAT. NAT, buddy, Damien, shout out to you, brother. I love you, man. You do a good job. He did a video on this. And he mentioned NAT. NAT is basically a protocol that uses all of your internal addresses and ties them to one public address. You could have hundreds of devices depending on your class of network. There's actually 5 different types, but you have class A, B, and C. Those are the 3 main ones. And each one of those networks you can contain, so a class C will have 254 addresses, right? Well, you have one for your broadcast, which is that's another concept I'm going to introduce here in a minute. When you have NAT will take all of your IPs, all your devices, and make one IP address. A network requires an IP address to communicate anywhere at all. You cannot communicate without an IP address. That is the standard. That's the communication protocol. That's the reason we have standards, is so that everything is the same for everybody. How could I play on Warzone without my brother-in-law, right? How could I do that if he's not communicating with the same protocol as me? Or it's like Spanish and English. They don't sound anywhere near as the same. And those 2 languages are completely different. French is different from Spanish. French is different from English. That's why they use a standard, so they can communicate exactly the same, so that everybody knows what everybody is saying, right? Ooh, listen to that. Now, a broadcast is remember what I said earlier, broadcast domain. Listen to what I said. Pay attention, y'all. You got it? Okay, let's get into it. We're almost done, though. A broadcast domain, right, means that when a device wants something, it'll say, hey, I need something. It'll say, hey, I need an IP address. Or, hey, is there anybody over there? That's what a broadcast domain is. It is used for broadcast, right? Any device that wants to communicate needs an IP address, needs to talk to something else, needs to talk to the gateway. It knows what to do, right? Now, the way it knows is by the MAC address, or the MAC address. The MAC address is another thing that's very important. Media access control. It is the physical address of the device itself. Now, it is very important because every one of them is completely unique. I can't remember, it's billions of them. Billions. You could have billions of devices, which we probably do at this point, but they're supposed to be all unique. The odds of you getting a MAC address that's the same as another one are like astronomically big. It's not really possible. So, I'm not going to say it's not possible and it won't happen, but it shouldn't. And so that broadcast is caused by the MAC address. The MAC address, the way the network knows that you are requesting an IP address is by the MAC address, the way it looks. It's all F's. That is a broadcast address. And if you do the math, which is the binary format, it is 255, 255, 255, 255. That is a broadcast. Now, That lets the network know, hey, he's trying to find something. And it'll know the gateway is the one that knows where everything is. Very simple, y'all. Very simple. And so, in conclusion, now that y'all know all of these things, I want y'all to reach out in the comments and let me know how this video is. Is it easy to understand? Is there some things I need to clarify? Is there something I need to add to it or take away? Just let me know. And that's what I'm going to end with. Everybody, you know what's coming next. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, I pray that you reach out to me right now in the comments or send me an email at sheryltechnology@gmail.com. I will be more than happy to pray with you, to talk to you, to listen to you, or to debate. I can do all or any of those. And everybody, thank you so very much for getting me to 326 subscribers. I am overwhelmed, man. I did not think I would get to this many subscribers, but y'all made it possible. Thank you very much. And until my next video, everybody, peace.